Blue Network presents Eddie Condon's 17th Jazz Concert. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, hot music aficionados all over the United States, Canada, and Latin America. Here's a private good afternoon to those 300 workers in our Detroit war plant who got out a petition and had the boss move their Saturday lunch hour up so they could all listen to this program every week, community style, over the shop's public address system. By the way, out there, don't forget that beginning next week, Eddie's concerts start at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Wartime. I guess you'll have to try to get the boss to switch your new lunch hour back 2 hours. Here's a memo to that trombone player up in Oswego, New York, who sits in with us every week alongside of his radio set. We didn't get that news from him direct. The neighbors dropped Eddie a line. But don't forget, old man, oil that trombone up 2 hours earlier next week, because Eddie comes on the air at 1:30 p.m., just ahead of the college football broadcast. Well, outside of a little salute to Louis Armstrong, nobody seems to know just what's going to happen here this afternoon, as usual. Nobody, that is, except Mr. Eddie Condon.
Well, the personnel of that last number was Gene Schreier on the piano, still at Nick's. Bob Haggard, still with his chickens on the bass. Ernie Caceres on the baritone, radio man, does that Mildred Bailey show and various other ones. And Miff Mould has got the band down at Nick's. And P.B. Russell is in that band down at Nick's. And I guess that was all. Maxie Kaminsky had a little bit to do with that background. Now, there's a fellow here I want to say a few words concerning this next number. Gene Krupa.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Eddie, yeah. I've always had an ambition. You remember a record that Bobby Haggart and Ray Paduke made a long time ago?
Positively do.
I think they entitled it Big Noise from Winnetka.
That's out in our home country, Gene.
That's right. So, I've always had a desire to play that with Bobby, and I guess the opportunity presents itself right now, huh?
I don't know of a better chance.
All right.
All right, go ahead, Gene. Gene, as you know, is at the Capitol Theater. They ran out of several rolls of tickets this morning, so we're going to let everybody in for nothing, starting at 2:30 tomorrow morning. All right, Gene, you want to take this? Go ahead. Just for certain, that was composed by Ray Paduke and Bob Haggart, who played the bass at this present rendition, or past rendition. This next number is going to be a thing. We're going to salute this one to Louis Armstrong. We used to play this around Chicago 18, 19 years ago around the Sunset Cafe. Recorded it, and it's called Butter and Egg Man. Are you boys ready over there? I'm going to give you 2 beats on this. Here we go. 1, 2. Well, that was a butter and egg with Muggsy Spanier on the cornet. One of the few cornet players left. Now, Pee-wee, looks like you start this out. Pee-wee's going to play a little composition of his own. In fact, I think everyone's composed this number from some angle or viewpoint. This is going to be called The Blues by Pee-wee Russell. Take 4 bars, Pee-wee. Go ahead.
Well, that was Pee-wee. We finally unshackled Pee-wee. This next go-around is Heebie-Jeebies, another salute to Louis Armstrong. This is going to feature some fellows here. We have Miff on the trombone, Pee-wee Russell on the clarinet, Billy Butterfield on the cornet, and Haggard's still with us, Gene Schrader, and Joe Grasso's on the drums. Now, we're going to give you 3 beats on this. By the way, Billy Butterfield's leaving for Hollywood tomorrow, so Billy, leave us in good shape, will you? How about 3 beats? You got that slide ready, Miff? Ready? 1, 2, 3. certain whether I mentioned Joe Grasso. He took over when Gene Cooper ran back to count the tickets. Fred Robbins, say something.
Something. Well, Eddie, the most important memorandum for today is just this. Beginning next week, Eddie Condon's jazz concerts will be heard over these same stations just 2 hours earlier than you've been hearing them. Pee-wee, you paying attention? You're not paying attention. Well, I'll have to repeat that for Pee-wee's benefit. Beginning next week, Eddie Condon's jazz concerts will be heard over these same stations just 2 hours earlier than you've been hearing them. Okay, that means you have to get up 2 hours earlier, Chuck. And here's another memo for the class. Eddie's been getting a lot of out-of-town mail from listeners who'll be in New York and who want to know just how to get into Town Hall to see these concerts. Well, it's really very simple. The Blue Network invites you to drop in when you come to New York. Just drop a line to Eddie, care of the Blue Network, Radio City, New York. We'll mail you as many tickets as you need. However, if you find yourself in the big city some Saturday afternoon, just drop by Town Hall and, well, we'll try to squeeze you in someplace. If you live in Hartford or New Haven or Bridgeport or Providence or Worcester or Boston or Baltimore or Philadelphia or Washington, D.C., you won't have to come to New York to see Eddie Condon's jazz concert, because plans are in the works right now to bring Eddie and a troupe of 15 of the outstanding hot musicians you've been hearing on this program to each of these cities sometime this fall. Just watch for the announcement in your local paper. And here's something special. Lee Wiley will be on next week's show, and that certainly is good news. Well, Edward, I guess you got the Barefoot Gang ready. I see our fullback Pee-wee has his shoulder pads adjusted.
How about those pads under his eyes?
Who's carrying those bags these days?
All right, look it, fellas. Are you ready? Gene, I'm going to give you 2 beats on this. Ready? 1, 2. Miff on the trombone, Miff Mold. Here goes Max Kaminsky from the Pied Piper downtown. Got his own band down there. Muggsy from down at Nick's. Here's Pee-wee from the same saloon. Billy Butterfield. It'll last the Billy for a few weeks. Bob Haggard, chicken raiser. Those chicken are laying some extra eggs now, Bob. Here's Gene Schrader again, downtown at Nick's. Now here's Maxie Kaminsky. Here goes Muggsy Spanier again. Here's the slugger, Russell. Never fought, never defeated. Here's Billy Butterfield, going out to California to pick oranges. Joe Grasso on the drums. He's also at Nick's. Fred Robbins, come over here, Fred.
Yes, Edward.
Speak a little French poetry.
French poetry? Well, Eddie Condon's jazz concert is produced by Ernest Anderson, directed by Dr. Jack Bland, supervised by Dick Charles, and announced by Fred Robbins. And don't forget that new time next week, 1:30.
Hey, Fred, you forgot to announce something.
What's that, Ed?
We're giving away Spode dishes next week. You know that.
Is that right?
The first 1,500 customers that arrive get Spode dishes.
Okay.